Good morning, everybody. Today, let us discuss the next topic in our lesson, the classification of elements in the periodic table. Let us recap what we have studied in the previous class. We are discussing about the periodic properties. The first one, it is valency. And we have seen that how the valency is trending in groups and periods. For groups, the valency it is same. If we take an example for first A group from hydrogen to francium, the valency it is same for all the elements from hydrogen to francium from top to bottom. The valency is same for all the elements in a group. And whereas considering in periods from left to right, we have seen that there is an increase in valency up to 4 and again there is a decrease from 4. After 4 the valency decreases to 0. So we can conclude that the valency is same in group for all the elements, whereas in periods the valency is increasing to up to 4 but after 4 it is decreases to 0. Today let us study about the atomic radius, that is the second periodic property. So what is atomic size? The size of an element is calculated in terms of its radius. So atomic size is also called as atomic radius. So atomic size and atomic radius, both the terminologies are same because we are calculating the size of an element in terms of its radius. What is the radius? Atomic radius is nothing but the distance between the nucleus and outermost shell of an atom. Observe here, around the nucleus, these are the shells. So the distance from the nucleus to the outermost shell, that is called atomic radius. How to calculate the atomic radius? Is it possible to calculate for all the elements? It is not possible. It is not so easy. So here, atomic radius of an element is not possible to measure in its isolated state, but because it is not possible to determine the location of an electron around the nucleus. Then how to calculate the atomic radius? It is impossible to measure in its isolated state, but is it possible in its solid state? Let us see how to calculate the atomic radius of an element. See how to measure the atomic radius. So we know that in its isolated state, it is impossible to calculate the atomic radius. So here I am taking here a solid state. So measuring the distance between the two nuclei of adjacent atoms in a solid. This one how we are calculating? For single atom, it is impossible to calculate because the probability of finding an electron it is impossible, and because of its small size, the atom size it is very small. But by considering in solid state, because in solid state we can calculate easily. So here, see here, these are two adjacent atoms, and so we can calculate the distance between the two centers because in solid state those are nearby, very near. So we can calculate the distance between the two nucleus, that is called the internuclear distance. See here, this is one molecule and this is another one. See that two atoms, that two adjacent atoms I have taken here the internuclear distance, because from the center of one atom to the center of another atom we can calculate easily because it is in a solid state. So this is internuclear distance, and then by taking this, calculating this internuclear distance, if we half this internuclear distance, see here, if we take the half of the distance, then that is called the atomic radius of the one single atom. So this is one way to calculate the atomic radius, that too particularly in solid state. So it is possible here. We know that all the elements, maximum around 75 to 80% of our periodic table, it is filled with metals, right? So atomic radii of metals are also called metallic radii or metallic radius. So it is possible for metals, and that is solids, nothing but metals are solids. For these metals we can calculate this atomic radius by taking the two adjacent atoms and calculating the internuclear distance, taking that half of the internuclear distance as atomic radius of the single atom. This is the way to calculate. Just now we have seen how to calculate the atomic radius for the solid state molecules. Likewise, for covalent molecules also we can calculate the atomic radius. The distance between the two atoms in a covalent molecule is estimated by measuring the length of the covalent bond, because the bond length we can calculate here. As we know that the covalent molecules made some bond length, so the length we can take that half of the length as the atomic radius. Half of the distance is taken as its atomic radius and is also called as covalent radius. Why? Because the half of the distance we are calculating in between the covalent molecules. So the radius, it is also called covalent radius. Here we can measure that atomic radius into picometers. See, atomic radius is measured in picometer units. 1 picometer is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 12 meters. So let us see here how the atomic radius, it is trending in groups and periods. For periods, first we will check. We know that all the periodic table elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number. So atomic number increases across the period from left to right. Now I am taking here the second period. So from lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. Throughout this period from left to right, the number of shells are same. We have seen that in a previous class, that one, the number of shells in a period is equal to same, because period number is nothing but number of shells. So second period means 2 shells throughout all the elements in a period from lithium to neon. All the elements, those are consisting of 2 shells. Whereas third period, if we consider, 3 shells will be there. But here, as atomic number increases, the number of protons increases. So beryllium, first element it is in the period, second period lithium 3 protons, whereas next element beryllium having 4 protons. So number of protons increases across the period. Number of protons increases means nuclear charge increases. What is the nuclear charge? What consists of the nucleus? Protons and neutrons, whereas neutrons are neutrally charged. There is no charge, they are neutral. So protons are there. Protons are positively charged. So number of protons increases means in the nucleus, the nuclear charge increases. But we know that the distance between the nucleus and the outermost shell remains same, because how many shells are there? 2 shells only in the second period. So the distance between these two same. But here the positive charge, the nuclear force of attraction, it is increasing. So what it will do? The nuclear force of attraction, it attracts the outermost shell. So nuclear force of attraction on outer shell increases. So the center of the nucleus, positive charge, it is increasing gradually from lithium to neon. One by one proton it is adding. So the positive charge increasing. What it will do? The nucleus tend to attract the outermost shell towards it. On a result, the size of an atom, that one decreases. You can clearly get this one through this picture. See here. This is a lithium. So number of protons here it is 3 and number of electrons are 3, and we are taking the second period. So 2 shells are there. Next element it is beryllium and boron. So see here, in lithium we have seen that 3 protons are there, whereas next one it is beryllium 4 protons are there. So the nucleus, it is the positive charge is increasing compared to lithium. In beryllium it is more, because the number of protons increases in beryllium. Compared to beryllium, boron is having more positive charge in nucleus. So what will happen on a result? The positive charge in the nucleus increases. So the nuclear charge in the nucleus, it attracts and pulls towards the outer shell electrons, pulls towards the nucleus. On a result, the atomic size of the element, that one decreases. See here, in boron also, positive charge in the nucleus increases as it consists of 5 protons in the nucleus. So the nuclear force of attraction, it attracts and pulled towards the nucleus. The outermost shells are pulled towards the nucleus. On a result, the size decreases. See here, in carbon also, the nucleus positive charge increases. So the nucleus, the force of attraction on outer shell increases. So it towards the nucleus, the orbits are shrinks. On a result, the atomic size decreases. See here how all the elements are decreases in its size. See, if we compare here from lithium, so the starting element lithium to oxygen, if we see the proton means the number of protons are increasing gradually, whereas lithium 3, beryllium 4, boron 5, carbon 6 and nitrogen 7, oxygen 8. So the nucleus force of attraction increases, then on a result the attraction between the nucleus and the outermost shell increases, so the size of the atom decreases. Finally, we can conclude that the atomic radius in a period, it is decreasing from left to right because of the nuclear force of attraction. Let us see how the periodic property atomic radius, it is trending in groups. Just now we have seen in periods. Atomic number increases, we know that all the elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic number, but here the number of shells also increases successively. We know that in a group the number of shells increases. For example, first A group, if we see first hydrogen, one shell it consists, and again lithium, it is consists of 2 shells, and sodium, it is 3 shells. As the number of electrons increases continuously, the number of shells also increases. Then the number of protons also increases. We know that the atomic number increases means number of protons also increases, and as a result the nuclear force of attraction also increases. So in the nucleus, just in periods also we have discussed that in nucleus neutrons and protons are there. So number of protons increases means nuclear charge increases. So nuclear force of attraction increases. But here, even though the nuclear force of attraction increases in group, the number of shells also increases. So the distance between the nucleus and outermost shell also increases. On a result, the distance increases means the size also increases. So we can observe this one here through pictorially. See here, first A group from hydrogen to francium we have taken here. For hydrogen, 1 electron and 1 shell it is there, whereas lithium 2 shells and 3 electrons and 3 protons are there. The next one, sodium. Sodium, we know that 11 electrons, 11 protons are arranged in 3 shells. Potassium, 4 shells. Rubidium, and again, so if we consider from hydrogen to rubidium, throughout the group from top to bottom, see, number of first atomic number increases, number of shells increases successively. See, for hydrogen 1, lithium 2, sodium 3 and so on. Then the nuclear number of protons increases means the nuclear charge increases. In terms, the nuclear force of attraction increases. Of course, the nuclear force of attraction increases, but the distance between the nucleus and the outermost shell also increases as the number of shells increases. So in terms, the atomic radius increases, because the distance increases means atomic radius increases. So we can conclude here that the atomic radius in a group, that means from top to bottom, what is happening? The atomic radius increasing. Today what we learned? How the atomic radius, it is trending in periods and groups. This is the periodic table. See here, from hydrogen to cesium, from top to bottom in a group, how it is the atomic radius. See here, all the elements size, it is increasing, whereas in periods, across the period, that means from left to right. See here, for second period and third period, how the atomic radius, it is decreasing. You can see here the size of the atom, it is decreasing gradually. So we can conclude that in a group, the atomic radius it is from top to bottom it is increasing, whereas in period the atomic radius from left to right it is decreasing, because in a period the number of shells are remain same and the nuclear force of attraction increases. So the nucleus, the positive charge, it is attracting the outer shell towards its nucleus. On a result, the atom it is shrinks in size. So the atomic radius it is decreasing. But in a group we have seen that the atomic radius it is increasing, because the number of shells are increasing gradually. Even though the nuclear force of attraction increases, the number of shells also increases. So the distance it is from the nucleus to the outer shell it is increasing. So on a result, the nuclear force of attraction increases also, number of shells increases, so the distance increases. That means the atomic radius increases. Let us answer this question. Oxygen lies to the right of nitrogen in the periodic table. The size of the oxygen atom is either bigger or smaller or equal. Let us see here. This is the periodic table, and where is the nitrogen and oxygen located? They are in the second period. We know that in a period from left to right, what will happen? The atomic radius it is decreases, because the number of shells same, but what will happen? The nuclear force of attraction increases. On a result, what will happen? The atomic radius decreases. So if we compare these two, nitrogen and oxygen, from left to right, the size, atomic radius decreases. So oxygen is the smaller one than nitrogen. So here the answer is oxygen atom is smaller than the nitrogen atom. Just now we have discussed about the atomic radius, and we have seen that how the atomic radius it is trending in groups and periods. And let us discuss about the ionic radius. What are ions? We know that positive ion and negative ion, those are cation and anion. Then how to calculate the ionic radius? So what is ionic radius? Let us see. Ionic radius. Ions are formed when neutral atoms lose or gain one or more electrons. What will happen? The neutral atom, it tries to possess the stable electronic configuration. In that process, it loses or gains the electrons. Then in that process, we will get the ions. See here, what are the ions? Ions are, one it is cation and it is anion. Cation is nothing but when a neutral atom it loses one electron, then cation, we will call that one as cation. And if a neutral atom gains one electron, if attracts one electron, then it is called negatively charged anion. This is called positively charged, that is cation, and negatively charged and it is called anion. See, the positive ion of an element has smaller size than its neutral atom. Just now we have seen which one is smaller and which one is bigger. Likewise, if we compare in ions also, the positively charged ion, that is the cation of an element, has smaller size than its neutral atom. Let us see here one example. Sodium. We know that sodium, it is atomic number, it is 11. So it consists of 11 protons and 11 electrons. So how many shells are here? 3 shells. 2, 8, 1. We know that one here. The sodium, it belongs to third period, first A group, and third period. It consists of, see here, 3 shells. Whereas this is sodium, Na plus sodium ion. Sodium ion, when it will form, how it form? It loses one electron. Sodium, in its outermost shell, one electron it is there. So it is easily donates one electron, and then it becomes the positively charged ion. So we call this one Na plus as sodium ion. Then now sodium ion consists of one electron, it donates, right? Now here 11 protons are there, but here 1 electron donated, so 10 electrons remain. Now this sodium ion's electronic configuration it is 2,8. So now which one it is more stronger and which is bigger? See here, in sodium 3 shells are there. In sodium ion we are having 2 shells. So sodium ion it is smaller in size than compared to with its neutral atom sodium. That is the statement here. The positive ion of an element has smaller size. So here the Na plus ion consists of smaller size than Na. And which one is stronger? The stronger the nuclear force of attraction, because the nucleus of sodium it consists of 11 protons. After donating 1 electron, the nuclear force it is increases more and it pulls towards the nucleus. The outermost shell pulls towards the nucleus. So the Na plus ion shrinks. That means decreases in size. Whereas coming to anion here, the negative ion of an element has bigger size than its neutral atom because it attracts 1 electron. So the number of electrons increases. So the shells also increases or the number of electrons increases. See here, the chlorine atom electronic configuration is the atomic number 17. So 287 and has 17 protons and 17 electrons, whereas 1 electron it gained because to possess the stable electronic configuration. So the now electronic configuration of chloride ion Cl minus, because it gains 1 electron. So 288 is chloride ion's electronic configuration, but it consists of 7. Same number of protons are there, but more number of electrons. That is 1 more electron added to this. So here what will happen? The number of protons remains same, but number of electrons increases. So the that is there is no that much of stronger force of attraction in the nucleus towards the outermost shell. So weaker the nuclear attraction, chloride ion increases in size. This is the reason we told that the negative ion of an element has bigger size than its neutral atom. Are you clear? Now, so cations means the element has cationic element. That is the positive ion has smaller size than its neutral atom. And whereas anion, the negative ion of an element is bigger size than its neutral atom. This is all about ionic radius and how the sizes will be for cations and anions. Today we learned about atomic radius, the periodic property, how it is varying in periods and groups. We have seen that the atomic radius it is increasing in group from top to bottom, whereas in period from left to right, if we observe the atomic radius it is decreasing because of the greater nuclear force or attraction. And we learned about ionic radius also. And if we compare the cations and anions with their neutral atoms, cations are smaller in size and whereas anions are bigger in size if we compare with the neutral atoms. Let us see an example here. These are all the halogen elements, fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. The white color one it is their anions. Why? Because the F minus means fluoride, Cl minus chloride, Br minus bromide and iodide I minus, because they accepted electrons and they became negatively charged ions. If we see the neutral atom fluorine, it is smaller in size when compared with the anion. So all these green color ones are neutral atoms and white color are their anions. So anions, that means negatively charged ions are bigger in size when compared with its neutral atoms, whereas cations they are smaller in size when compared with neutral atoms. This is for today. Read the textbook and write the exam. Thank you.